So income tanks invest, talk about investing, finance, and professionalism. For today's items only, the investment talk today will be Ethereum Today ETH. So it's my third posting as of today. In respect to recording time of 5:17 p.m. on Eastern time, Ethereum current trading 2,711, down about close to 10% so far. And sorry, just want to apologize for my attire. I just came back from biking. I did a little bit of a grocery shopping at the same time. Just a quick cardio workout, if you may. I don't really drive. I typically just take the bike and I bike everywhere. And that's how I commute at the same time as well. So I'm relatively just kind of sweaty at the same time. And with respect to as I came home, looking at the phone app, it seems like, the Ethereum price point is, the technical is slowly progressing into the shape that we've been identifying so far, right? So I quickly come back onto camera to make sure that you guys are thinking logically and not making irrational decisions based on fear because of this relatively sizable sell-off of 10% today, and this is just today, right? If we collectively think about ever since the 4,000, we've sold off relatively dramatically so far, right? From the 4,000 to below 3,000 to now 2,700. So $1,300 of a sell-off so far, right? So just to remind you guys what happened recently with respect to what's driving this sell-off, right? And we've been keeping tabs. There's 7 factors. One is the Christine Lagarde negative media affectation calling crypto assets as some sort of a suspicious warning. That's number 1. Number 2 is with respect to the China Evergrande Group on the brink of default or bankruptcy, subsequently drives the sell-off across the Hong Kong stock market. The Hang Seng Index plunged 4% on Monday, which is basically 2 days ago. And also with respect to the Feds, as the FOMC is due rating from today and tomorrow. And with respect to the status on the quantitative tapering plan or the Federal Reserve initialization on crypto bills or any regulatory dynamics around that front is still pending, right? We don't have anything that we are confirmed yet. So it seems like, what we're seeing right now is just basically investors being, having that panic mode, right? That we've been talking about the market cycle, right? We're at the panic mode, so that's why people are having some fear, selling off their holding when they should be buying at the same time at this, at the moment right now. Another one is really coming from the COVID variants news. It seems like it's percolating, and in some regional areas domestically in the US, seems like the cases are spiking. So that can subsequently have some negative correlations to the investments market, right? And also with respect to September, has always been a historical worst month out of the 12 months in a year, right? And the last one will be the brinkmanship in DC as the deadline, to raise debt ceiling approaches also drives some fear mongering among investors. So it seems like Ethereum is selling off right now to the $2,688, down about 11% so far. It seems like the technical is performing in front of our eyes right now. So the next level technically will get down to will be the $2,620 per the technical analysis. But that's not really a substantive level. The real level is the 2,442, but 2,450 just to give yourself that easier number, right? So it seems like we are at the resistance levels of down. So people are buying up right now. You can see that we were below that level of 2,750 to the 2,600 and subsequently reversed back up a little bit. You can see that small little candle from here, right? And with respect to MACD and RSI, we are oversold at the moment, 32 out of 70. So 35 is typically the rule of thumb, so we're below that. So it's not a bad level to buy at Ethereum at the moment. So Dogecoin with respect to, so we are extremely oversold right now. We're at 28.72, way below the equator line for oversold. So I think Dogecoin is definitely a very good opportunity to buy it right now at the 20 cents per our technical analysis that we've been talking about so far. Sorry about Bitcoin, I did not talk about this. So Bitcoin is comparable to Ethereum. So if we break the 40,000, which is a relatively substantive level, we'll be going down to the 37,558 or just anywhere around like the $38,000. So that will be a good level to eye at. So I already have 3 Bitcoins. I don't know if I want to buy another one or maybe half. So something I have to think about, but with respect to my holdings right now, is relatively equalized in terms of like the ratio. It's like quite 50-50 in terms of like the ratio of the valuation for Bitcoin versus Ethereum. So Cardano, we are selling off. It seems like we are going to be selling off even more because we did break the $2, which was a relatively substantive level. So $1.87 is coming, but after $1.87, we have a long way to go to $1.45. So something to be mindful of. Cardano is one of those relatively risky ones. However, we are oversold. So I think the 187 would be the bottom technically per the technicals, but we could be selling even more. Because we do have a large gap. So something to be really, really cautious about, right? Solana, we are bleeding right now. We are, as you can see, we actually tested 112 today, which is great. We, the technical came true. We reversed back up immediately to 121. So if you take a 121, that's not a level at all. That's just a level that we are floating at the moment. So 112 would be technically the level to dollar cost average at, but I would not do so because it's not substantive. I would say 66 is still where we're going to be going. So we still have a long way to go. If you think about that's like more like 50% sell off from there. XRP, we're pretty much oversold at the moment. We are at the ideal level to dollar cost average at right now. 78.69 would be where it's coming next. So I think incurring some risk at the moment right now would not be a bad idea. So going back to Ethereum, per the news front, let's see if there's any news that popped up. Some news came out about like 3 hours so far. One is Bazinga 3 hours ago. We'll talk about Ethereum falls more than 7% today, but seems like we're falling more than 7%. We just saw a 10% drop just now. Subsequently reversed back up to this 2,750, which is the level we keep talking about. So this is the dip basically on the first preliminary level, right? But I think 2,450 could get there eventually, based on just the level that we at right now. But dollar cost averaging at 2,750 is not a bad level. So incur some risk right now is not a bad idea. Again, I'm telling you guys what I'm doing. I'm not your advisor. I'm just some guy on YouTube. So don't even listen to me if you don't find my work substantive at all. So some news on Decrypt about an hour ago. Talk about Ethereum startup OpenLaw rebrands aim to be a DAO incubator. So something along the line with respect to, a startup that's cultivated behind using the platform of Ethereum. So a great step of approval on a corporate perspective. Another one on Decrypt 3 hours ago talked about QAnon. Mastermind is selling Ethereum NFT to fund secret projects. So it seems like there's some institutional selling ship. I don't know if that's the word for it. Selling activity, that's the more technical vocabulary, that someone is selling, and I think the head of Ron Watkins, has made depictions around the secret project, but there's no specific reason as to why he's selling Ethereum or what price point he sold it at. So something to know, but nothing really negative, I would say. Just more of a good to know FYI, if you may. So it seems like we are rebounding right now slightly, 2,750. And with respect to MACD, there is no sign of curvature at the moment. There's no sign on curvature on the RSI perspective either. We are just basically going down at the moment. People are buying at the 2,750 because they know that's the level to dollar cost average at based on their appetite. It's not because they're listening to what I'm saying. It's because their appetite on a public perspective. So with respect to the market cycle, let's just take a look at this first. We are the panic capitulation mode. I think we might see anger coming up because we know that the anger technically would be the 2,450 below, right? And that's when we hear people saying like, oh, why did the government allow this to happen? Things like that, right? Why the whales dumping us? We're going to start blaming the feds after the FOMC meeting for some reason, or something along the line that, people just are not using, logical decision-making skills when they are, anger. They're angry, if you may, right? So something we'll be cautious of, and the reason we keep using these to remind ourselves is to stay within the frame of logics, right? Stay within the frame of reference to dollar cost average at, right? Again, the 3,000 would be the level that, if you bought in, that was a good level, but we broke that, right? And again, attractive level 2,750, 2,450 would be a steal level. So if you want to be just a little bit more patient, just wait until 2,450 if that's what you want to do. But there's a likelihood that we don't get there, right? If the whales decide to buy up and we could restart the whole cycle, but that's unlikely. That has never really been my historical experience so far. So I think we should technically get to the anger phase. So 2,450 is still within the momentum that we're seeing based on the technical analysis, right? I'm not making any predictions. It's just that the technical is telling us what it is, and I'm just translating to you guys, right? So let's say you bought at the 3,900 for some reason, like a couple days ago, like not even like a couple, maybe a week ago or so, right? Just hold for a long term. It's part of the market cycle. You have to endure the market cycle by being patient, and eventually your time and your patience, again, right, will pay off from there. And 9,800 is what's going to be happening next 12 months, next year by September, right? And that's 3.3 times your money, or even bigger than 3.3 times your money from here, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Really appreciate you for dropping by again. It's my third video, and apologies again for my attire. I'm just gonna go take a shower and probably get dinner soon. Have a long day tomorrow as well, long day of meetings. So really appreciate you again. Stay tuned for this come up. Take care. Bye.